Good evening and welcome to Griffith Student News. My name is Emma Clark.
And I'm Stacey Wright. In today's show we look at student voluntary unionism and a cure for migraines. But first, I think it's about time for the news. What do you think, Emma?
I think it is. Let's cross to Emma Heron for the news.
Thanks, girls. It seems bikini-clad meter maids and schoolies revellers aren't for everyone. A new survey has seen Surfers Paradise voted the worst Australian landmark and most worthy of being crushed by a giant hammer. A quarter of the 400 people asked wouldn't mind seeing Surfers Paradise wiped off the map. Sydney's monorail came in second place, followed by Victoria's Federation Square and Coffs Harbour's Big Banana. In breaking news, smiles may soon be returning to the faces of children affected by the Marysville fires. Children will receive a $7 million grant and a further $5 million for a special school holiday program. The grant will also help with housing, lost possessions, education and counselling. Back to you.
Thanks, Emma. Wow, Surfers Paradise getting wiped off the map. What do you think, Stacey?
No more nightclubs and unfortunately no more meter maids. But now it's crossed to Shane for the sport. And how about that game last night, Shane? Go the Maroons.
It was a great night for all Queenslanders. A strong performance by Queensland saw them defeat New South Wales 28-18 in the 2009 State of Origin opener in Melbourne. A blazing 20-minute period by Queensland's backline during the first half helped take the Maroons to an 18-2 lead before holding off a gallant Blues outfit in the second half. Things weren't all positive for the Maroons, however, as Queensland centre Justin Hodges injured his knee early on in the game. In tennis, Samantha Stosur has become the first Australian in 12 years to reach a French Open semi-final. The 25-year-old defeated Romanian Sorana Cersti 6-1, 6-3 at Roland Garros. Stosur will now play her first Grand Slam semi-final against the number 7 seed Svetlana Kuznetsova. And in football, Australian captain and defender Lucas Neal has turned down a lucrative $4 million a year offer to stay in England with English Premier League side West Ham. Thanks.
Thanks, Shane. And did you catch the game last night, Emma?
I did, but the outcome was quite upsetting for me as I'm a Blues supporter.
Would have been quite a headache.
Oh.
Speaking of headaches, migraines. When we get them, we normally reach straight for the Panadol, but a new trial at Griffith University has found some new alternatives. Jenilyn Easterbrook reports.
Migraines. Many of us suffer from them or know someone who does. At their best, they can be a painful headache. Worst case scenario, hospitalisation. 20-year-old Griffith University student Laura Hunt knows this pain all too well.
My migraines get so bad, it's like a splitting headache. I get, my eyes go all fuzzy, I get nauseous, vomiting.
But help is on its way thanks to a new trial searching for natural alternatives to migraine medication. Professor Lynn Griffiths and her team at the Griffith University Genomics Research Centre are leading the way.
We've actually been working on migraine for a number of years, and we're probably the first people in the world to start looking at the genes involved in migraine.
About 90% of migraine sufferers turn to painkillers to ease their suffering, sometimes in excessive amounts. Thankfully, early trials have shown simply adding more vitamin B and folate to your diet can significantly reduce the symptoms of migraines. The trial involves taking one vitamin a day for a year, as well as keeping a log of any migraines.
All of us want to achieve two things, and that's better diagnosis. If you can identify the genes that cause things, you can diagnose earlier and you can diagnose more effectively. So better diagnosis, but also more effective treatments.
The trial will continue for 12 months with 250 participants. Showing promising results, the research hopes to help those suffering say goodbye to their migraines for good. Jenilyn Easterbrook, Student News.
How exciting, a new change to Panadol.
Yes, well, I'm very looking forward to it because I get quite a few headaches myself. So something new, I'll give it a go.
It's nice to see something new on the market.
Next, we take a look at voluntary student unionism. Universities across Australia have historically been at the centre of political debate and protest. But the microcosm of life, that is the university landscape, has changed since the introduction of voluntary student unionism. Jasmine Midgley has this report.
These are scenes of protest you are unlikely to see at an Australian university anytime soon. Because since the Howard government abolished compulsory student unionism late in 2005, political activism and awareness in Australian universities has diminished dramatically. Student unions simply no longer have the financial resources to provide as much information and publicity for awareness and political campaigns. The $88 membership fee to the Griffith University Student Guild, for example, is directed more at improving students' time spent on campus. Griffith University Gold Coast Student Guild President Ross Waldock prefers this new user pays system.
Every cent that the Student Guild gets actually goes back into the students, for the students, with supplying facilities like bar clubs, cultural clubs, sporting clubs, supporting student advocacy needs, all those types of things. So everything that the Student Guild provides is for the students, and there's no use of money for political or religious activism on campus, which is what the problem was and the reason VSU was actually introduced.
Politics and public policy lecturer Dr. Gideon Baker argues that a lack of political involvement from students is more a universal trend than a direct result of voluntary student unionism.
Maybe there's a slight extra edge of depoliticisation, but I think fundamentally it's no different here from anywhere else that I've previously taught. Just don't have enough motivation to be political.
And that sentiment is obvious over at University Village every Thursday morning when the students arrive for a communal breakfast. Politics have been replaced by pancakes.
Voluntary student unionism, how do you feel about that, Stacey?
I think it's great that it's voluntary. It gives the students a choice for a change.
That's for sure. Well, next we have Melody with one of her killer reviews.
Thank you, girls. This week we are looking at Foster Wallace, a publication of his address to Kenyan college students in Ohio in 2005.
It's cut out again.
Cut out again. Thank you, girls. This week we are looking at This is Water by David Foster Wallace, a publication of his address to Kenyan college students in Ohio in 2005. There are these two young fish swimming along, and they happen to meet an older fish swimming at the other way, who nods at them and says, "Morning, boys, how is the water?" And the two young fish swim on for a bit, and then eventually one of them looks over at the other and goes, "What the hell is water?" Wallace picks up at things that are too large in our lives and too close to notice, and that deprives us of the richness of living. Unfortunately, Wallace hanged himself last September at the age of 46, but he leaves us something to think about. Grab a copy for $9.99, sit back, digest and reflect on your day-to-day activities. Happy reading, girls.
What the hell is water? Gee, that sounds like it's an interesting book, doesn't it?
I think we should get ourselves a copy. Well, that's all we have time for today. Thank you for joining us.
You have to stick with us tomorrow though. We're going to be looking at international students and employment, and we're going to go have a look at the Griffith University graffiti party.
Graffiti party? I don't think I've been to one of those before. Sounds interesting.
Definitely.
Thank you and join us then.
See you.